They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.
With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/wellred. That's mintmobile.com/wellred. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Drew, you said you just woke up. Does that mean like you had a bad night last night, or you living that nap life? You on the baby nap life?
Oh, I had a nap. It's not a baby nap life, though. He's at my mom's.
I'm on that baby nap life. It's very sweet.
You've been napping with him, you mean?
Yeah, you know, I've never been able to do that on account of anxiety. Like, I've never been able to just, like, sleep during the day. But what happens is I'll be on the couch and he'll fall asleep on me, and I can't move because, like, that will wake him up. So it, like, gives me permission to be like, well, what else would I do? And then I go to sleep, and it's fucking awesome. It's great.
Yeah. That hits.
Does hit.
Do you sleep well when he's on you, though?
Yeah. I sleep better. Honestly, it's the best I ever sleep. I feel so like this is going to sound gay, but like I feel very secure and safe, and like I don't know. Just having his little heartbeat on me. I just feel like, hey, all is right in the world in this moment. I got my son with me. What the fuck else do I need? I'm good. And yeah, I can sleep. I can't sleep with my wife. You know.
Yeah, I think for me, when he's on me, I don't sleep very deeply because it's like if I'm holding him, like if my arm falls, he's gonna wake up. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, no, I do. It's the only time I can sleep. Only time I'm really happy, honestly, or even just like semi-glad. It's the only time I have any type of joy or smile.
Well, that's when he's not awake.
Well, no, just when I'm with him exclusively. It's just me and him. You know what I mean? That's it for me. I like him. Everybody else, yeah, whatever.
50-50 at best.
Yeah.
I want to ask y'all about something, and it's I think it'll hit for y'all because it's like it's misogynistic, but in a way that I think is fine.
Hell yeah. Oh shit.
And that'll damn. Okay. Well, now I don't even want to.
I meant to give you a fucking applause. I meant to give you applause, but it's right by the crickets.
Yeah.
Anyway,
his computer's a feminist.
Because
so watch out.
So is a news story recently. There's rumors that Trump is porking Laura Loomer, or at least she's dabbling in his dribbling on his mushroom or something.
Right. Sucking his wiener.
Yeah.
Who's grosser?
Yeah.
So she is.
So
yeah, but how do I mean it? That's like the air conditioner question. You turn it down or up? What's that mean?
Well, I think here's the deal.
Who's being a grosser person?
She is.
She is.
But she's also grosser than him.
Yeah, but she's 31. If you're 78 and you let a 31-year-old suck your dick, the 31-year-old's being grosser. Kind of no matter what.
First time ever, I'm going to be on the side of the olds. Dude, I think until I saw Laura Loomer, I would have been like, yeah, the 71-year-old every time.
Right. Yeah, because
there's something I've been struggling actually later. We'll get into it at some point, and then I'll let Trae finish. I've been struggling with like tech, just really freaking me out, weirding me out, bothering me.
You mean seeing her and thinking she's not real?
Her face ain't real, dog, and it makes me tense.
Yeah. That's actually the specific thing I wanted to bring up. That's why I said it's like a little misogynist because it's all about just like women's faces. But women who don't
I'm glad you're doing this.
Women who
I'm
don't
glad you're doing this. By the way, Trae, because when I filled in for you on SKUs on Trae's Patreon, by the way, patreon.com/Trae Crowder, you might want to sign up now because I'm on there. I attempted to shit talk Laura Loomer, and Mark was like, he cut me off before I went down a misogynistic path, which I was definitely going to go down, but I was like, no, hold on now. I think that I'm trying to be less misogynistic, and I believe I should be able to take out all that shit on a bitch like Laura Loomer.
Me too.
You know what I
that's
mean?
That's definitely my position on it too. Is it's like you should or not just say bitch or cunt or nothing like that, but like
call
if
her
Marjorie
that.
Taylor Greene ain't a bitch or Laura Loomer ain't a bitch, then you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's
that's
like
what
I'm
I
against
mean.
the wall,
I feel
not
like
my
there's two
wife.
different things
You know what I
going
mean?
on here. I just want to make sure I understand what we're doing. I'm all for calling Laura Loomer a cunt. I want that on the record. Somebody write it down. Somebody get a tattoo. The whole thing about like commenting on people's bodies and faces. First of all, I got shit when I made fun of Elon's weird body. It was like, don't body shame. Elon won't see this. Yeah. Elon won't see this, but people with weird bodies will. And I was like, well, that's a weird way to say
Work
you have
out
a weird
different.
body. But Laura Loomer, I think, chose to look like that.
That's what
She
I'm
definitely
still,
did.
still trying
so,
to
like, I
get
can-
there. Because that these
We're Trae and Trae right now.
I feel that a lot of the high level MAGA crazies, women's, they have a similar kind of like half melted Stepford wife thing going on where it's like they're like crazy eyed and plastic faced in a similar way. Like they've had some of the same procedures done, and it's like
their head also
a
doesn't
lot
look
of
like
them have it. Like her,
not symmetrical.
you know,
Corey, let him
MTG, Christy Nome. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you look at like old pictures of them versus pictures of them now, they've clearly done shit to their face. So yesterday, it is like and it's like they don't just choose to change their face; they choose to change it. And I think they all have the same end goal in mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like it's this
To
like
suck Trump's
50s
dick?
housewife thing or something. I don't know, but like
They have a permanent like this.
yes, right.
Well, that's Botox, though, I think.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
got
but
Botox, lip
their heads are
fillers, all
sideways.
that shit. They just do a bunch of stuff, and it makes them look wild. Now, I will say, I feel no, need to defend Laura Loomer about anything, but there is one picture of her face that's been going around that people have been like, look at this bitch's face. It's like, she
Jigsaw.
still is wild looking, but that one picture is like digitally altered.
I didn't know that. I know the picture.
Is
you're
it the
talking
one
about.
where
That's
she
the
looks
one I
like
was thinking
Jigsaw?
of.
Yes. And
I
but she
might
still
need
kind
to-
of does. She still
She
looks
does look like
wild,
Jigsaw.
but that particular picture, that's not entirely
Okay,
how she
I
looks.
think I got duped by that one.
Well, I think that's what Mark showed me, because Mark showed me this
Probably.
picture, and I believe my exact quote was, "That's what that bitch looks like," and he was
Right.
like, "Whoa, hold on, buddy.
Mhm.
What's the skews here? This isn't you're fucking putting on airs where you can just talk about women however which way you want." And I was like, "That ain't a woman, dog. That is proof that gender is a fucking spectrum. That is a lion." You know what I mean? Like, she looks like the Beast from the original live action adaptation of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, but it's just kind of an interesting question though about all that. It's like she
All
obviously
what?
sucks. She's like hateful
Shame
and
'em.
racist and awful. So does that make it okay to
No, but
call her
yeah.
a bitch or to shit on her face or any of that stuff? And I would like to say and feel that it does.
I mean, look,
'Cause
man.
she,
Far
like,
be it
deserves
from me.
it.
Far be it from me to sit here and say this is how you should talk about women, and this is definitely how women feel about a thing. But I mean, there ain't one here to give a counterpoint, so whatever.
Oh, now
But,
I'm
like,
a man. Cool.
I'm saying like if you're someone who is just like all women are bitches, that's a wrong way to use that word. But
Right.
insinuating that there is no such thing as a woman who is a bitch is a bit insane to me. It's a bit insane.
Sounds like something a bitch would say.
I'm saying, well, I was doing this bit about Amber. Like, it was specifically about Amber. Like, I even called her by name. Like,
about this bitch wife.
Yeah.
but no. That's my point, is that I was talking about Amber, said my Amber's name, never called her bitch, whatever. And I had like multiple women come to me after, and they were like, I just don't like how you generalize women and I was like, I wasn't. I was saying that Amber did this. You know what I mean? I was like,
every woman's like that.
but I didn't. But yeah, they are. But I was like, I'm not generalizing women. Saying my wife did this thing, and like, if you whatever. But I didn't say, how women be. I was like, my wife fucking did this thing, and I was like, dude,
I'm trying to parse the question, Corey. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, stop calling these women bitches, dude. These bitches.
What
ain't
women?
Gonna take it.
What women? Laura Loomer? I can call
Them
Laura Loomer a
bitches who
bitch.
keep coming up to you after the show. They're not going to take it anymore.
My question is basically just like, does it, like, is it okay
To
to
me-
really
Yes.
go in on a
Okay,
terrible
but, like,
woman in
to
using
who?
language that can also be directed towards a totally fine woman who don't deserve it, but
To-
this
Sure.
bitch does. So that make a difference, right?
To
Because
who?
to
Because
the world, I don't know, to
I mean, there's
sensible
definitely
women.
there's definitely a faction of people who are like, cunt is a slur.
Yeah.
And then I think two things happened, or three at the same time, were like Marjorie Taylor Greene existed.
Right.
I do think social media got Americans used to the word because we started having British and Australian people
Yeah.
on our feeds
Right.
saying it all the time.
Right.
So it's like it just depends on who you're asking. I think
mean-
there's definitely people out there who are like, you shouldn't call women bitches. Like, what if your son hears you do that, or et cetera, et cetera. Then there's other people out there, dude.
Going
I
to.
call women bitches all the time because I'm a millennial who listens to rap.
Right.
Like my friends,
Right.
I have a pretty solid core group of friends who are women, and I'll be like, "What the fuck are you bitches doing? We're late." And
Right.
they don't mind it at all. So it's like, it's hard to answer your question. If you mean like the woke mindset, probably not okay. Are you going to be able to get away with it because of who it is? Yes. Does
Right.
that make a lot of them hypocrites? 100%. Do I think that it's okay that they're hypocrites? Absolutely. Because we're all going to die, and she's a dumb cunt.
Right.
And those are just two facts that I cannot get around one way or
Right.
the other. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I agree with you in that the word cunt is definitely like, it's less offensive now than it was when even 10, 15 years ago. Probably, like
100%.
you said, because of the internet. Because, like, dude, now, even 10, 15 years ago, it was still 100% my wife and my sister's favorite word. Like, so it
Hey,
really just depends on.
Didn't it just get slangified recently?
What do you mean? Like, there's a, like in Urban
Cunt
Dictionary or
means
something?
like, you know how I
serving
know,
cunt. You serve cunt.
I think that there's, I mean, yeah, that, but you know how like
You serve
brat
it?
was a thing, you never,
Yeah.
or maybe still, that's brat.
That's
which
brat.
hits,
yeah.
I
There
guess.
was a
I
brat
think-
summer, and now we're
think that
we're in
cunt-
Cunt fall.
I
we're
think
in
that
Dude, I'm
Cunt
going.
I think
That's where
that
Laura
in-
Loomer lives. Cunt Falls.
Yeah, cunt falls. I think in some corners of the internet, cunt had a thing like that for me. I want to say almost it was a gay thing or something. I could be so far off base with
It's
all
Well,
this.
big
it's
cunt
always a
summer.
gay thing,
Woo!
and then you find out it was actually a black thing every time.
Dude,
So-
yes, man. But it's I'll tell you what it never is a straight white man thing. It's always one of the two. It's a gay
both of
thing
them
or a
never
black
straight
thing.
white woman thing.
No,
I'd say one or two times it's been a straight white man thing before it's been a straight white woman thing.
Without question, dude.
Yeah, so Drew was right. It is. Yeah, it originated with serving cunt or giving cunt, and it originated specifically, according to this, on RuPaul's Drag Race.
So, like, when you're saying someone is like a bitch, you're like, she's giving cunt. Like, that's what you do?
No, it's a
no,
good
no.
thing.
It
It's like,
hits, I
look
think.
at her.
Oh, so like something
It's
is
a compliment.
Cunt. Yeah,
Okay, so
like,
it
oh, that
started
shirt
amongst
is
drag
cunt.
queens. It started amongst, according to this internet research I'm doing, it started amongst drag queens talking to other drag queens. And so if you think about it that way,
Yeah.
it means like you're really hitting at drag right now.
Right.
It's
You're
giving
serving
it's
cunt.
serving cunt, right? Yeah, because like
Yeah.
Your
you're
dick
really
is
selling,
so far back in your asshole that cunt is what is being served to me right now.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Congratulations, madam. That's
Okay.
what it means.
Hell yeah.
I'm in little, like, I feel like we're really, really tiptoeing into like boomer territory. We're like looking it up.
Yeah,
but
but
boomers
we're
don't
not-
wouldn't understand.
And like it
We're
hits
cool
for us just
with it.
fine. We're cool
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It
And
is
also,
definitely
boomers don't look shit up.
right.
They just hate it.
It's
I
very
may use the wrong
dorky to,
word. I'm
to
saying
look it
that
up.
it's just funny. We're just
It is
old.
fun. It's 100%. You're
It's
absolutely
not.
right.
We're not
Right.
doing. Here's the thing. We're not doing boomer stuff. It's just that millennials are now entering where we're the boomers phase. You know what I
Right.
mean? And this is our version of doing that. Is looking things
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I like how I want to say this is not true, but this is what I've done in my mind. Trae's mom forgot how old his kids were this week, and then some part of his
Forgot,
brain was
never
like,
knew.
So we can call them cunts again, right? Like it's back. It feels like it's back.
That's very funny, but I've never been less surprised by anything in my life than her getting that question wrong. So, it would have been the opposite. I would have been like all for more women's empowerment or something if she'd have gotten it right. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, maybe we're making some progress. I'm kidding, ladies, but yeah.
If she'd have gotten it right, you would know it's because she'd been trying to figure out your password. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's very funny. So what I didn't show y'all, because it had not happened yet, I sent y'all the screenshot. So what they're talking about is I made a video with my kids' voices only in it last week. You hear my sons talking, but you only see my face because I'm still kind of weird about all that. And also, they're old enough now that I got their permission. They knew what I was doing. I got their permission to do it. But I put that video out, and on Facebook, somebody asked, "How old are your sons?" And on that, my mom commented on it and said the wrong thing by 1 year. And then what y'all had saying right under that, Katie then commented the correct thing, but with no, no other, oh, she's just the
right, just the information.
Their grandmother
not
posted an answer,
and
then their mother posted a different answer, so that's clearly the right one. So it just looks, you know what I mean? It just it was very passive aggressive. Well, I don't know,
like she's being, God damn it, Paula. No, it does. Right. I get it. I interpret it the right way.
I just feel like it really, there's no way that hit for my mom. But,
I wanted to ask you.
She should have got the fucking thing right. What do you want me to say?
I wanted to ask you about this because there's that, there's that thing that goes on the internet. I think the biggest example of it was when that lady was like, I can't remember what the first part was, but the lady was like, my daughter was like, she looked at me and went, Ruth Conda forever. You know what I mean? And it was about kids. It's like, these kids don't really say this shit. Well, I know that goes on and we talk about it all the time. But so with did you get accused of that from some people with the video with your kids? Because when I retweeted it, I specifically posted, I was like, Trae was texting me while this was happening and I was dying because I was like, are people going to think he set these motherfuckers up?
Well, I don't know. I mean, what I did was, and then, you know me, I've been ghosting and posting and ghosting, so I'm not even sure. But I did think about that because I actually, on one of our internet shows we did during COVID, I did a whole bit about that whole, because Ruth Conda Forever had just happened, and I did a bit about it. And then I'm in desperate need of new material right now, so I think I'm going to bring that bit back soon.
You should.
So I was thinking about bringing that bit back about how I hate when people clearly lie about what their kids say. And last week I was like, it occurred to me, people are going to think that I'm doing that, but I'm really not. So all I could think to do was, because at first of all, I didn't plan any of it. I'm sitting there watching the debate with them, and they are reacting hilariously.
Oh, I know. It was great.
Irvine was over here, and that's the first time he's hung out with them or anything. And he was cracking up. He was cracking up too. And they were like, and I kept telling him, I was like, dude, just so you know, they don't know anything about none of this. You know what I mean? I want, I've not indoctrinated them whatsoever. I haven't told them shit. And that made it funnier. And then at one point, after multiple occasions of them being like, what is up with this dude or whatever about Trump, halfway or more through the debate, one of them goes, wait, so who's the president right now? You know, so they,
you know what's crazy about that?
They don't know, right? They can point being, this is their first real introduction to Donald Trump, and their very first impression as innocent young children is, this guy's a fucking maniac who's clearly full of shit, right? That's the point of the whole thing. But by the time I realized that was happening, and I was like, maybe I could make this part of the video, I started trying to surreptitiously film them during it. But then I was like, nah, I can't do that. I feel weird about that. Also, I don't want them to be on it. So then I landed on interviewing them afterwards. And all I could think to do, and what I did do, is on my YouTube channel, not anywhere else because of time limits, but on my YouTube channel at the end of the video, I posted the entire unedited conversation with them.
So people would know that you weren't feeding them shit.
Right. Yeah. And that I wasn't selectively editing it or whatever. And then on the rest of the platforms, when I posted it, I just put a little thing in there that said, just so you know, on my YouTube channel, I'll post the whole thing. So, you know, I'm not being shady with the editing, because I'm sure almost no one even cared. But yes, it occurred to me. And
I'm only thinking about it
because the idea of that didn't hit for me so much that anyone could think that I was like, I have to take some kind of steps.
I only thought about it because I was so ready to defend you, because I was like, I seen it. I saw it in, live. He was tweeting about it. Anyways, here's what I wanted to say. It's so crazy, at how good of a job you've done of shielding them from all that, because you're a comedian first and foremost, but you also are a political commentator. It's a big part of your job. It is the reason that they even have that house in California. And also, your kids are very intelligent. They both know how to use the internet. so they can find shit out if they want to. Also, we know that politics gets talked about in public where your kids are at all the time, and they don't know shit about it because of how good a job you've done. Meanwhile, Amber had second graders screaming, "Build the wall" in her classroom,
exactly.
which shows you that it is the fucking parents' fault.
So I tried to talk about that this week on stage because, again, I'm in the midst of coming up with all kinds of new material right now, or at least trying to. And I tried to talk about that, and I think I was just getting too bogged down in specifics of, because what made me think about that was the day after I posted that video was 9/11, right? And which, don't hit 9/11, don't hit. And on 9/11, Joe Biden went to where United 93 went down in rural Pennsylvania. It's called,
he
like,
did 9/11. He said he was.
Shanksville. Yeah. It had a big day doing 9/11. I think that's right. Shanksville. Yeah. But it's a tiny little red ass town in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. But it's, he went there because of the memorial reasons, and he took all these pictures with all these school kids and stuff. And like 80% of them are wearing Trump shirts, and not just Trump shirts, but like Jesus is my Lord, Trump is my president shirt. Like, like both Jesus and Trump and the Lord all wrapped up in one. And I saw that. And again, it was right after I'd posted my video with my sons in it. And it just, I was like, but all they ever do is talk about how the left is indoctrinating children through like woke public schools, indoctrinating them with the gay agenda, whatever, all this shit. And then yet you see that. And it's like, I don't know. It's pretty. I also saw a 14-year-old boy in a Twin Peaks with his clearly divorced dad this weekend, in Michigan. Me and Donnie went to a Twin Peaks. Oh, you physically
saw this?
Yes. Me and Donnie went to a Twin Peaks to watch college football and get something to eat. It was right by our hotel. And also,
now,
Twin
Trae,
Peaks hits.
In Michigan, you don't know. That might have been court ordered. He might have had to have that kid.
Right. Well, but no, you've never seen a more like, this is one of 2 days a month he gets with these children type thing. This dude had no wedding ring on. He had a white guy with 2 white sons, like a 14 and a 9 or 10-year-old. He brings them to Twin Peaks. He's pounding beers while they've got Mountain Dews or whatever.
No one else driving.
The older one. No, yeah, he walks. They gets in the truck, drives off with him or whatever. He's got and his older son has a Trump hat on the whole time or whatnot. So, yeah, it was on my mind, the whole they indoctrinate kids thing and bitch about us doing it. But
it's not even just the indoctrinating kids. This whole thing with the merch, you would have to waterboard me to get me to wear a politician shit all the time, unless I was doing a video for him at the time or something. But just go into a restaurant with a politician shirt on. The literal only political clothing I've ever owned in my life was, and it wasn't even really it was. I had a Big Lebowski shirt that was done in the style of Obama's Hope poster, and I even stopped wearing that because I was like, well, it's giving cunt, you know what I mean, or whatever. And I've got that Bernie sweater where he's doing the meme.
Yeah.
Never worn it. I just got it because you got it if you donated to his campaign, which I did. And I got the sweater, and I was like, well, I'll wear it at the house when I'm cold or something, but I'm not going. They're not the Bulldogs. You know what I mean? God damn it.
Well, on that note, I had a, I don't know if I still do, and I can't remember where I got it, but I had I think somebody gave it to me, or Katie found it at Goodwill or something. It looked kind of like a FUBU jersey, sort of, but it was like a fake football jersey, meaning it wasn't for a real team. It's a football jersey that's for a made-up team who has the colors of red, white, and blue, a team called America, right?
Yeah.
And it's the number on the jersey is 44, and the name on the back is Obama, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was it's funny because it's so ridiculous, you know what I mean? Especially
it's something they would do.
Especially me wearing it, just seems so absurd. And so I wore it to a couple Super Bowl parties and stuff like that out here a time or two.
Look,
and nobody was ever like, what the fuck, bro? But even that,
listen,
I was like, I just can't keep doing this because I don't roll that way. Like you said, I feel weird doing it.
During the Obama, we all lost our minds when we got a black guy. It's fine. We all had lapse in judgment when we were real excited, but now it's grow up.
Yeah, but no, yes, that is part. You're right, because it's part of it is the indoctrinating kid. Because there's plenty of liberal parents who definitely
false idols
feeding their kids a lot of liberal stuff all the time. But still,
Ruth
I
Condo
stand by
lady.
it. But the
What'd you say, Drew?
the merch thing too, yeah, is a big part of it. It's just
I just said, yeah, that Ruth Condo lady. I mean, she's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
exactly.
It's
Well, that's
like
the
Blue
bit when I did it on
Magazine or
our
whatever they call it.
show that we did. The setup for it was like, I hate how other liberal parents always do this, because it does seem like whenever it's a kid saying some like really insightful type shit, you know, it's always a liberal. Of course, it's always a liberal because conservative talking points sound stupid. So like,
right.
you know,
Yeah, but
you
dude,
know.
like most, like obviously, you know, I know more conservatives back where I'm from than I do liberals, just by virtue of I know everybody here and most people are conservatives. But like my friends, like the people that I really hang out with all the time, are all at least a little bit liberal, right?
Mhm.
And some, like, you know, Amber worked with some people at the school that were liberal but wouldn't say anything because they didn't want the fucking parents to find out or whatever. But like they've all got kids, and like the one thing all of them have in common is that they are doing their best to just keep their kids from knowing anything about what's going on. Like they're like, but all the Trump people I know, they are feeding their kids, like you were saying, like they're constantly being like, and what do we say to Mike Pence? Hang him by his ball sack, you know, like it's crazy shit. And again, it goes back to your thing of like, who's indoctrinating who? And then it's like, we got to go to church on Sunday, and they talk about Trump there, and I'm like, dude, again, I know that all types of people exist. And I know that there's people who are like, you know, as soon as their kid gets back home, they put NPR headphones in their ears and are fucking trying to like CIA debrief them. I know those people exist. They just don't exist to the extent, at least where I live, that the opposite is true.
Well,
yeah, I mean, you know, it's like you said, for me, it's just, you know, American politics, especially throughout most of my children's lives, not literally all of them, but most of their lives so far, has been a fucking nightmare.
Insane.
Horror show.
The whole time it's been insane.
It may be everybody always thinks that all the time. I don't know, but it definitely feels way worse recently. And like, I just don't want them. It's like, no, they'll get old enough to, it's not like they can fucking vote. It's not like they're children. They should have a childhood. This shit stresses me out. I don't want it stressing them out. But it's like, with MAGA parents, though, it's this weird, the whole thing is weird because it's like, all they ever talk about is how terrible everything is and how this country's going to shit and fucking Biden and Kamala are tearing it apart and fucking the immigrants there's an invasion happening. And
how if you don't like it, leave.
But how it's all bad and terrible. But they also are like, no, this all hits or whatever. Like being mad hits. You know, like me, I look at everything and I'm like, none of this hits. I don't want to share with my kids any of this stuff because none of this shit hits. I deal with it because I have to. We all have to deal with it if you're responsible citizens, but it don't hit. But a lot of the Democrat rhetoric is like, things can be better. We can all live together, whatever. And then on the right, it's like the exact opposite. I feel like they're like, everything fucking hits. Everything hits so hard, but all the rhetoric is like, because Mexicans are fucking invading and everything's falling apart and there's communism in this country and fucking sucks. So it's like, I know it's not that insightful of a thing to point out, but it's filled with hatred and rage, but that hits,
but it hits for you. Yeah, no, and again, I don't understand. I've never understood why they have a monopoly on the phrase, if you don't like it, leave, because they're the ones that seem to not like it. Like, they're the, you know what I mean? Like, they look at what America is and they're like, in Joe Biden's America, this bullshit. And I'm like, if you don't like it, leave. That's what you told us the whole fucking time that Trump was in. Like, why don't you leave? Go to fucking Austria or wherever the fuck it is, the Argentina that you think is your people. Go.
Yeah. At my house, every day we wake up and we recite the pledge to eat the rich.
There you go.
I bathe my son in the blood of kings and queens. And when we're done with breakfast, we walk outside and we chant, topple the patriarchy.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't have to be rich to get a good... Okay, my bad. I thought you were done.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say, I don't consider it liberal indoctrination because we don't like them either.
Right. Yeah, I mean, dude...
I hold his little eyes open and I make him watch Marxist documentaries.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange style, but with liberal
Dostoevsky.
shit.
His first words were "seize the means."
Yeah.
I seize the means every day.
Outside your house.
Doesn't know what the other one's talking about. All right, let's do the ad.
Oh, I'll tell you what, buddy. You don't have to be rich in order to get the best wireless coverage that you can possibly get. Because here's the deal with big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. But with Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says it's $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it, by God. Y'all, I've had Mint Mobile for a while. They've sponsored this show for a while, and I'm here to tell you it is as good of a coverage as you're going to get with anybody, but it's not going to hurt your wallet. And I always try to make a point to say this. Not when you shop with Mint Mobile and when you sign up with them, you're not only getting great deals, but you're also helping a young startup entrepreneur. His name is Ryan Reynolds. He's just getting started in the mobile business. And I think he's a nice Canadian man, but he's got his American citizenship. He's trying to do the right thing. It's great. There's no complicated bills, upcharges, none of that stuff. So say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and you won't get any unexpected overages with Mint Mobile. All right? Use your own number, your own phone, all that stuff. You get all your existing contacts. You don't have to change anything except for the plan. All right, to get this new customer offer and your 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/wellred. That's mintmobile.com/wellred. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/wellred. $45 upfront, payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on 3-plan only. Speed slower, above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Skew, good stuff.
All right. Good job, Cho.
Thank you.
Made a hit.
Hey, P Diddy's got arrested.
I thought has he been on the run?
I think they were bringing charges, but they did
bail or something.
I think they put him on notice, if that's the official term.
I think they searched his house.
Yeah,
and then he took off in his jet.
Right.
That was it.
At that time, he was just wanted for questioning. There was no arrest.
They've actually arrested him now.
Indicted, arrested. They searched his house. They found 1,000 bottles of lube.
Jesus Christ.
1,000. Yeah.
Wow, boy. I mean,
you can't shop at Costco anymore.
I
was thinking
just a good
that
deal, you know.
They put that out.
To worry about friction. That's what we're railroaded.
I thought the same thing because I saw that and I was like, I saw the first part where it's like Diddy gets arrested, sex trafficking, all this stuff. And then they were like, they found 1,000 bottles of lube. And I was like, okay, but you can do that. Like, that's okay. Like, I don't know who this is for. Like, he's allowed to have that.
I mean,
it's weird.
For parties. I think the issue is they're like, all right, well, this is not for you. This is for a lot of people. Now let's look around and see who stays here.
Right. Possession with intent to rape. Never heard that one before. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of like 15-year-olds to be around.
Yeah. No. I mean, dude, it was trafficking, it was coercion, it was drug cartel related shit. Like it was like and the FBI's involved.
So is he like Black Epstein or Black Weinstein or Weinstein River or a mixture of both? Or he's his own thing?
He's his own person.
He's his own person.
His own thing. I think he's closer to Weinstein though, because Epstein was a purveyor of fine children.
Right, yeah. He was like the P Diddy of like pedophile dealers or whatever.
This is a 2008 butthole.
Right, well, P Diddy, like,
he did a little bit of
stuff, and then he fucks people over, whatever. But like Epstein, that's all he did. He was like the world's most successful and famous, like
Epstein was
100%
working for somebody, maybe multiple CIA type operators. Like Epstein was in the game of secrets, and as part of that was in the game of all that stuff. It seems like I read a lot about it. It seems like Diddy was doing it because he was into it.
Yeah,
like he probably had a guy like Epstein. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And the only time he like did Epstein like stuff though was he would blackmail other people, you know, to get ahead in the music world.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's all these like alleged clips of him like fucking young black musicians, and supposedly it was like so he'd have that over them.
Right. Yeah,
which is Weinstein-y.
Very much so. But that's also why it's like that whole like, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say that. As I understand it, and maybe I don't at all. About to get real white, real old in here. But that whole thing, like you say, he was, banging young black musicians. Maybe they weren't all black, young musicians, and like blackmailing them and stuff. Many of whom were dudes, right? But like, it weren't like a gay, according to him, right? Or like what he would say is like, he didn't do that because it was gay. He did that because it's like, I run shit here. Like a dominance thing. You know what I mean? Like, this is what you got to do if you want to be in this. And it ain't got nothing to do with me being gay. It's just because like, you must submit to me in order to be led into this kingdom or whatever type of thing, right? Which is wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think the two things. I think that's mostly just like internalized homophobia and like
Right.
an inability. It's like, no, I'm not gay.
Right.
I'll dominate. Yeah, and like, there's something to that in terms of how straight America works. It's like, I mean, dude, even our heroes, the Drive-By Truckers, have that great song about Bob.
Yeah, love it.
He might kneel, but he never been over. There's
Right.
always been like a thing of like, well, it ain't gay if you're not getting your butt fucked.
Butt fucked, right? Yeah.
Which is like the weirdest type of misogyny and homophobia. But then on the other side, I gotta acknowledge, like, there's been a lot of study. That's a very prison-y thing.
I know. See, I almost said that,
And
but
there's
then I
a
thought it
lot
would
of,
sound
like-
bad in this context because, I already called him the Black Epstein or whatever. And then I almost immediately was like, and he's got a whole prison thing going on, right? This black man we're talking about. But I wanted to ask you about that too, though.
Well, he
like
do.
prison.
There's a lot of studies of like men who. All right, you don't want to do prison. There was a study that I studied. There's a weird way to phrase it. In college, there was one I read about in some social science class. Men who work in mines.
Right.
Fuck, I do think it was in Africa. Damn it.
Well, what about? I mean, I was going to
African
get into all
miners,
this
that's what
already.
P Diddy's
Prisons,
into.
but also, what about the Navy? Right. In the Navy, they say it ain't gay if you're underway. It's only queer if
Right.
you're at the pier. That's what they say.
Right.
That's what they say, not what I say. But yeah, I know. Like dudes, when they get in big groups of dudes, there's guys that start fucking other dudes who will maintain steadfastly that like, I'm not homosexual. This is just
right.
You
The
know.
study
Just a
what
bitch.
was so wild
Yeah,
is there
right.
were dudes who would kind of become, I don't want to say transvestites. I don't know. I'm bad with the words. There were dudes who would like dress up like women after
Right.
work.
yeah.
And then they would be on the receiving end. Then when they would go back to their regular lives, they would never do it again.
Right.
And so the psychologists and social scientists were saying, obviously it's possible these men have these desires and feelings all the time and they're closeted. But it's just as possible that this only happens when there are no women around.
right.
What
And
does
it's
that
just
mean?
you got to stick your dick in
Here's
something.
the thing about Diddy. That ain't.
No, Diddy
Right.
is different
He
because he
might
had
say,
women. Right.
This is like prison rules and I'm the king of the.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, but we're not in prison, dude.
Right.
You can.
Right.
Apparently.
No, yeah, it is. It
literally
is
fuck
two
whoever
different
you want.
things. Like purely just having some kind of like power dominance
Yeah.
philosophy about butt fucking is one
Well-
thing, but it is different than the whole like. Because yeah, that's what they do. They come back and then they never do any gay shit again, right?
Right.
And they go back to prison. They go back to doing gay shit. It seems to me. I mean, because you do want to say like you said, internalized
get it.
homophobia. They just don't want to admit it, whatever. But I don't know. It kind of seems viable that at least some of these dudes are like,
Of course it
they
does.
gotta fuck something, you know.
Well, I'm
like,
saying, well, dude, like,
But it's
like
like-
they prefer
You're not
pussy,
rape.
so when
You're
they
never
get
rape,
out,
of course,
when they
but-
get out and they can get pussy, they'll get that. But then when they go back and there's no pussy,
Right.
they'll just take a back pussy, which is a
Take the
butthole.
Yeah, but
bus-
it doesn't
the
explain
bussy,
the
yeah.
people who. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think that I think genuinely that our understanding of how sexuality operates inside the brain is kind of basic. Like I think in 200 years this will be like sort of elementary shit. What was I gonna say? Ah, fuck! I had another thought or point, but I forgot.
But do you even putting what Corey just
Oh,
said
I know.
aside, like the idea that sexuality really it is a spectrum. It's a crazy spectrum, and there's all different. And it's like so. There's surely dudes, I'm certain, who go to prison and are there for a long time and love porking women's, but never start fucking dudes. Presumably, I don't
Right.
think they all do it. And then so it's like you still got to be somewhere on one end of the spectrum to even do it in the first place. And again, I'm
Or
discounting
you're way
rape from all this,
hornier.
of course. Like, right, but isn't that kind of the same thing?
Well, no,
But
I'm
then
saying
there's
like
No,
also-
it's different. Yeah, right.
I'm saying
Right.
like you might not.
It's just
It
a
might
higher
not be
sex
like.
drive.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I didn't mean like you're hornier for dudes. I just meant like because we know some dudes who like they gotta get it out.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not,
You're right.
I'm not like that.
one of them either. Yeah.
No, like, and thank God, like, because me and Amber talk about it all the time. Like, there will be times where we're going to do it tonight, and then like our show's banging, and we just won't.
Like, no,
and it's
this
like,
hits harder. Yeah,
it does. It does.
Yeah,
but there's some dudes that I know who are like, absolutely not. I must receive from my wife every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's that quote, that Tennessee Williams quote. Everything in the world is about sex,
except sex,
which is about power.
Power, right.
And I keep thinking about that in terms of what they say Diddy's claiming or whatever, which is, I don't think it matters. I guess that's where I'm at. Is like, why does it matter? Why does it matter? It's almost grosser if he's fucking them without being into dudes. It's almost like
it is
more disturbing.
Absolutely.
It feels rapey.
It is. No, it is rapey.
Well, I'm saying,
like if you say to someone who's of age, consensually, you got to fuck me to get what you want in this business.
Right. It's right.
That's like, especially if you don't even want to fuck. Like if you literally don't want to fuck the dude. If you're literally not into it, you're only into the power dynamic of it. That means you're only into the fact that he doesn't want to do this, but he has to.
Right.
Because of who you are.
And that you can make it. Yeah.
That is so much worse, in my opinion.
For sure.
Crime-wise, it's the same crime.
Right.
But it's so much worse than I can't admit that I like fucking.
Absolutely. I agree completely. It's way more like psychopathic or whatever.
Right. And I mean, in that, I think anyone who knows anything about Puff Daddy knows that that's what, like, that he is a psychopath. I mean, it's very obvious as the years have progressed, and like, it's like he made so much money off his best friend's death with the song that he stole the sample to. Apparently, Sting.
Yeah,
he has to send Sting like $100,000 a month in perpetuity.
It's more than that. It's like, bro. It's like that a week or something like that. Like I read about it the other day, and Sting was talking about how like all his kids go to college specifically from just the money he gets from P Diddy. Like it's nuts.
That's crazy, dude. Because I mean, when that song came out, it hit for me or whatever. But that like, I can't remember the last time I heard that song. Like I can't believe that song's still getting them kind of spins.
Yeah, I was curious about how the agreement.
It's $1.8 million annually.
It's like, crazy. Well, I'm curious about that because you would think it would be a percentage, which mean that it should fluctuate. But that aside, going back to the original question, I think that Epstein is a man who used people like Puff Daddy and their depravity to get what he wanted.
Yeah, they were like his clientele, weren't they? Like, They were like his clientele.
That's what I think. Yeah.
So y'all might have covered this when I was downstairs grabbing my child, but like, Mark, I think it was Mark that was saying that like Epstein's whole fucking thing was like, it's not that he wanted to help these people out. It's that he wanted to get dirt on them. And like, he'd bring them there, show them the thing, then he'd have them. And it's like, okay, even if you never come back, you came and I got the evidence of it. So like now you'll do everything that I want to do. And who knows, everything the CIA wants you to do. Or what the fuck ever. But dude, P Diddy, like, like the Chappelle skit that he did about P Diddy, where it was like the making of the band thing, like it was obviously all a joke, but like the joke that Chappelle was making was that P Diddy was a psychotic motherfucker, and this is 30 years ago, before any of this stuff. So it's like it all makes sense, dude. Like he was, even before anybody knew any of this stuff, it's like, hey, there's something wild about this fucking cat. Also, did you hear the rumor that, I mean, this is just a speculative rumor, but that's the reason that Ben Affleck left J-Lo?
What?
She's involved. She was named in a fucking file. She was married to P. Diddy, and she was named in one of the files or whatever.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, she was married to P. Diddy, and they said that she was named in one of the files or whatever, so like she's going to end up being subpoenaed, and Ben Affleck was like, I ain't trying to have this. Now, granted, so they broke up.
Anybody surprised if it turns out she's evil? Is anyone
slightly
shocked?
No, and she might be like a Carmelo Soprano thing where it's like she didn't technically do anything, but she knew it the whole time and didn't give a fuck. But like They also, by the way, they were caught making out last week and holding hands, so they might be a little.
Her and P
together.
Diddy.
Yeah, no. Her and Ben Affleck, even after he left her.
Yeah,
I saw somebody on Twitter say that Ben Affleck and J-Lo is white people's Cardi and Offset, which made a lot of sense. But yeah, they're saying that she might be named in some defamation case and be subpoenaed to court, and that's why Ben Affleck was like, "Hey, you know how much I already hate going to regular dinner. You know what I mean? I ain't doing it."
Y'all ever think about like what is it a monetary level, a certain amount of money you have to make in a year or something in show business, or it's like a fame level, a certain amount of notoriety you break through? But like, at what point do you enter this entire other world of abject insanity that clearly does exist in the world of like entertainment and shit? Because it's like
I think you got it.
Stories
and
and stuff all the time, and it's like people when they talk about Weinstein, it's like everybody knew all this type of stuff. Spacey, Singer, everybody was like kind of open secrets, and the drug use and the whoring and the kids and all this wild shit. And it's like, and we barely hit at all. But like, my entire experience with anything Hollywood network executives, writers making shows and scripts and that type of thing, it's all very like just
corporate,
jobby kind of. Yeah, like it's all
very corporate.
It's like
we always talk about how we missed it.
It's very buttoned up. There's no craziness at all.
Nobody does coke anymore.
Obviously, the craziness does exist, but it's like I wonder at what point if you're
bring you in the room.
Yeah, exactly. If you're ascending,
like
at what point they're like, okay, you can
what
be.
Trae's trying to ask is when they gonna give him a kid.
No, but
I want to know like when I'm gonna have to like. At what point you gotta, fucking
Sizz the Diz.
Like get.
Well, I keep hearing it's just that you get fucked in the butt,
right.
And it's like again, I promise you, no one's offered. Because if that's all
right.
I had to do for guaranteed my kids are going to school and I ain't got to worry about getting a job, I'll take one for the fucking team. But like that ain't
at our level. Joe Rogan joke I can remember liking. It's a very fucked up point, but I found it funny because I understood it, which was if Harvey Weinstein did that to my daughter, I'd hang him up by his balls. If he did that with my kid, I'd be like, congrats, buddy, you're Batman. Suck his dick. To my son.
Yeah.
Like the idea of he like feels differently. It's like, all right, buck up, young man. Which is fucked up. I know that, but I knew what he meant and it was funny. I think we've seen versions of it. I think that what it is there's a lot of denial that goes on. And then, dude, it's just power. It's like, yo, did those two girls go in Weinstein's office? What's going on in there? Well, we're going to mind our own business because he's Weinstein.
Also,
like,
there has to be
we don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah.
Also, there has to be some feeling of like, I'm sure it's that, like, whatever that phenomenon is where if like 20 people are in an alley and they see somebody getting raped, nobody calls the cops because they assume everybody else did. You know, like
the bystander effect or
the bystander effect.
The diffusion of responsibility.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's definitely a little bit of that going on, I'm sure. And then with like women, especially who like, they're like Oprah knew or what's Oprah's different. Like she's one of the most powerful people ever, but like all these other, because my mom will say this all the time. She's like, well, some of the women knew and they didn't say anything. Shows you how good a feminist they are. And I'm like, these women know firsthand what it's like to go to the cops with a story like this. You know what I mean? So like, I'm sure some of that was going on too. And then it's like, also,
yeah, who do you tell?
Who do you tell? Right. Because if somebody's this powerful that's going on, like they've got these people in their pocket. And I'm sure there was a lot of dudes like that too, that they were like, should somebody say anything? And somebody was probably like, oh, they say stuff all the time. And that person ends up dead or that, like, you know what I mean?
Who do you say it to?
Right.
If
because cops don't give a fuck.
Your career's over. If you go to the cops, what do you go to them with?
Right. Because then they're just going to, even if they ask Weinstein, he'll be like, no, I didn't. Right. And they'll be like, well, we don't have any evidence. So
now, it turns out he's been a real bastard to his own children apparently lately. But the one person that I thought came out of the Weinstein thing looking like a champ was Pitt. Brad Pitt was dating Paltrow, and supposedly
he said he'd kill him.
He was like, if you try anything with her, I will kill you.
Do you know what all later happened with Brad Pitt?
I just said he's not hitting lately.
Yeah, okay. I'm about to say, look,
I don't know none
Brad
of this.
Pitt, it's wild. Well, I don't want to, it's wild how some, because he's huge. he's huge, and I don't understand how some things get massive in terms of stories, and some things it seems like no one ever hears about. I guess it's just having really good spin doctors or publicists or whatever. I don't know, but like, because I mean, he's as big as it gets, and
Well, dude, too
if
big to fail works with individuals
if you
too.
go looking for it, but the victim in this case, or one of the victims in this case, is Angelina Jolie, who's also huge.
Dude,
Wait, before we
So if you go looking
the
for it,
media
you
made
can
her
find
look crazy for years.
you can find like some very damning information and evidence and stuff out there about Brad Pitt being a real piece of shit towards her and they kids and stuff. But
Like
who knows
physically?
what's true? Yeah.
I mean, not that either one's good.
Again, who knows
No,
what the
one's
truth
better
of it
than
is
the
or
other
whatever. But that's
Yeah.
this
No,
is
both
all
are bad. One is
allegedly.
definitely better.
Well, all right.
But yeah,
so not to
it's
get
the
too
thing.
derailed, getting back to what I was saying, because I don't want to sound like I was just saying, throw your hands up in the air. I mean, I do understand that there's like, but here's the thing. A lot of people just go with it. And that appropriately, I think, disgusts people. I think a lot of people can empathize with the whole, like, yeah, I guess you can't go to the cops and say, I think Harvey Weinstein made Gwyneth Paltrow suck his dick for this role.
You can't.
But a lot of people don't empathize with, so I just made 7 more movies with him.
Right.
Like, I think a lot of people appropriately sort of go like, all right.
There's a middle ground.
You couldn't figure out how to stop it as just a guy, Quentin Tarantino. But did you have to like do your next 7 movies with him, considering how big you are? Like, did you have to do it with him? It makes people feel, I think, appropriately like, nah.
No, I
this is
get that.
fucked up.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And then I think a lot of other people imagine that if it was like kids, that they would actually do the Brad Pitt thing. Now, whether or not they're right or not, I do understand that feeling in normal humans kind of going, bruh, if Harvey Weinstein or whoever was fucking a 13-year-old, I'd just go in there and kill it. Like, I get that they think they'd do that, and maybe they would. Some people might.
I feel the same way with people who, hey, bud, I feel the same way with people who are doing, like, new Woody Allen movies. You know what I mean? Like, it's because, like, he still gets really big stars. And the thing is like, it'd be one thing if, like, Woody Allen movies opened well at the theaters. They don't even do that anymore. So, like, these big stars are just doing it just to be in a Woody Allen movie. And it's like, you're getting him at the worst part of his career. Like, okay, here's my thing. I will never feel bad for the fact that Midnight in Paris is one of my favorite movies. I won't. I like the movie. He did it. I'm sorry. I know now that we shouldn't do that. But you can say, well, you know, I like his old work. But you don't have to be in his fucking movie. Because, like,
right. Well, that's the whole thing about, I was saying about, like, at what point do you reach this other world?
Me? You'd be in his movie.
No,
if he
at
called
what point,
you right now, you'd be in his movie.
Of course I would, but I'm not these people. I need a break.
Don't hit. We don't
you know
hit.
What I mean? That's what I'm saying. I need a break. I'm saying, like, fucking, Owen Wilson, he's good.
I think with him, it's that, like, people justify that he's a creep, not a... And I'm not saying I feel this way. I'm saying I think their brain is going...
He is creepy,
but...
He was
a creep in the 70s, but he's not...
Well, that was... I was gonna,
I'm not saying this is true, but I think their brain's going,
yeah,
he's
not that long ago. but like...
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, I think that's what their brains do.
You know, that's what I was saying earlier about at what point you get called into the room and you join this crew of everybody that's keeping all these secrets and doing all this wild shit, apparently, because, like, with woke-ass Hollywood, so many woke-ass Hollywood liberals, like, signed a petition to, like, let Roman Polanski back at, you know, whatever. And it's, you know, like... almost everybody who hits in Hollywood was like, no, Roman Polanski, he hits. We like him. He's what's up. And it's like, you know, he raped a 13-year-old or whatever, but they're like, yeah, but I mean, you seen the pianist though, or whatever. Like
but now he's French, so it's fine.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, then, I mean, French just being fine with him, that never didn't make sense.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like, ça tienes plenty enough, huh? Especially in the 70s.
I mean,
Yes.
But it's fake. Like, are you really, I guess, surprised? I mean, is that what you're saying, that you're surprised they did that because they're woke Hollywood?
No, I'm not surprised that they felt that way. It is sometimes hilarious how, like, it's like they don't know how they're being seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand that they feel that way, but like they will be like, well, why does everybody think we're hypocritical?
That's because they're diagnosably mentally ill.
Right. Yeah, it's nuts.
You know, like that's what our industry is mental illness, being able to make money off of it.
Right.
And you know, everybody's got problems. I'm not saying I'm not mentally ill. I'm just saying, like, yeah, they don't know how they're being perceived. They really think that they're the best and
Yeah,
they
I mean,
should
when
be
like
famous. I mean, think about what Spacey did. We've talked about it on here recently. That was crazy. Like, he really thought he could just be like,
I'm
what if I
back,
just
baby.
go on and talk to America as Frank?
He's nuts. Fucking nuts.
It's one of those
And,
things
like,
you almost kind of have to be, right? Or, I don't know. I don't think you have to be, but
to a certain
there's just a huge overlap between. It's like how so many CEOs are sociopaths and that type of thing, and also so many like
Right.
highly successful athletes too are like
Yeah.
Well,
incredibly delusional and
I
all this
think
type of
it's
stuff because you like need to be.
I think it's just like Hollywood. Like, those type of people exist in every single facet of human behavior. It's just that in Hollywood they're in front of a camera, so you see it more.
I'll go one step further than that. In Hollywood and in DC, there's a mix of them being that type of person and a weird thing with fame, and then in DC a weird thing with power. That's
Right.
like a really fucked up combination. If you're like the kind of person who like really needs to be famous and like thinks it's cool to act that way, like that's a real toxic thing. Same thing with like politicians. If you're the kind of person who's attracted to and wants power and you want to fuck kids, or you like
Right.
want to fuck 20-year-olds that you're in power over, that's a real
It's a
fucked
good
up
point.
conversation. Whereas
Yeah.
a perverted plumber, they only got the one issue.
Right.
And so it's not. So they're also. It's just like a different scale. It's the same thing. I mean, we're kind of looking at this wrong. We're asking questions that are fair to ask. Like, what are you supposed to do? How the fuck does this happen? Everyone knows about it. Well, why don't we see it when we're out here and it's all buttoned up? The church, schools,
Yeah. People.
predators go to places where they can hide in plain
Right.
sight on purpose. And fame is such an intoxicating and powerful thing. Like, there are people who, maybe not consciously, but on some level, genuinely want fame so they can be a bag of shit.
Well, and some fucked
Like,
up people are
genuinely,
charismatic.
that is, they might not even know it, but that is what is attractive to them about
Right.
the idea of being
I
famous.
want to be invincible. I want to be bigger than life. Yeah, like, so. I
Fuck
mean,
you, money.
I think a lot of people, you know, we've really romanticized like the craft of acting and stuff, which like I'm into or whatever, but everybody wants to believe like actors get into acting for the craft and to act. And like some of them do, but like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger was like very honest about, he's like, I wanted to be a star. I wanted to make money and be a star. And like, I'm not shitting on Schwarzenegger. Like, he's, as far as they all go, he's done some fucked up shit,
Dude,
but
he's the man.
Do what?
He's the man.
No, I know.
Because of that. Because he was like, I want to fuck sluts.
Right.
18 and
But
upwards.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
finally, some honesty.
There's more people like him that are also inherently evil, where it's like yeah, they're a good actor or whatever, but I don't know that they gave that much of a fuck about the craft. They just wanted to be in a position to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do.
And or they wanted their craft to be what they're known for, that they'll use. All right, this is a perfect segue into a thing, and I promise I'm not just bringing this up because we argue over him already. I cannot believe people were shocked that Dave Grohl did a bad thing. It genuinely,
that thing? Yeah, me either.
Freaked me the fuck out. I was like, who are these people who believed? And I was like,
he's a rock star.
Because they don't. Anytime someone is known to be a good person, that they've Ellen, Oprah, Dave Grohl,
Cosby,
that fat fuck James, what's his name? Although everyone now knows he's a little worm. Anytime someone worked that hard to get known for being good, you can't be shocked that they're not, because it's all just to get another thing. I don't understand how people don't see that. It genuinely blows my mind because, and by the way, everyone does it. It's just people do a different version. Some people will own it a little bit better. Bill Burr will be like, yeah, I'm not really that angry, but you know, it makes what I do work. It's like,
well, or like sometimes even good people make mistakes.
Bill Burr didn't yell at you if you met him, but you're the angry guy.
Right.
What the fuck did you think was happening?
But I mean, just play a little bit of devil's advocate here. Like Corey said, he's a rock star. I'm not surprised that he was fucking 19-year-olds or any of that. But the whole
Are you surprised he's not a good guy?
Okay, let me ask you this.
I don't know that he's not
it'll
all the way,
it'll
though.
never happen. Hang on, Drew, let me ask you. This will never happen. We all know that. But let's say within the next 2-3 years, I like level up tremendously. I get cast in some big movie or something like that, and all of a sudden I'm like very famous, like legitimately. I mean, what do you think people are going to say about me? Like, or what people are going to think? Oh, he's real sad. It could be that, but like, it's not going to be. What's my reputation going to be? Because I'm nice. I treat people nicely.
But you have not cultivated that as
but
a brand.
that's kind of what I'm asking. Is like, would people still not say that about me just because I am that way, even though I'm not going to go out of my way to like cultivate that image?
Also, if Trae made one mistake and got someone else pregnant, would we as his friends be like, he's a piece of shit, fuck him, he's a monster? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm not calling Dave Grohl a monster for
him.
that. I'm calling Dave Grohl a monster because of what the fuck he did to Courtney Love and fucking Cobain's daughter, because he denies AIDS exists. I'm calling him a monster because he's a fucking monster.
Wait, what?
He literally says AIDS does. He's a piece of shit, but that's not the point.
Hold on,
the point, and getting back to Trae's point is, or your question, I think what you're asking me is, what would people perceive me? I don't know. What I'm saying is, when people have clearly cultivated a good guy image, it's shocking to me that people don't see it as that. You have never cultivated that. You've just been a comedian. I think that's what people would say. People think Bill Burr's a good guy, but if he like was ranting at someone on the subway, no one would be like, damn, man. You know, like, it's like, I don't understand people who got shocked by Ellen being a bad person. It's like, she spent 30 years trying to convince you that she's a sweetheart. That is weird.
Okay, but with Grohl, like, it was all cultivated by things such as, like, you know, the story of, like, there was that fair where he went and played drums with that band who was playing his shit. You had that. You had the fact that, like, he broke his leg and he came back and still did the song or what. These are all the things that, like, mythologized.
That I'm talking to two people who think Tom Cruise is fast. I really don't know.
That's not no, dude. I'm with you. I'm with you in that, like, when they said that he did this shit, I was like, what are you fucking talking about? He's a rock star. What I'm saying is, like, he still did do all that. Like, there's part of me that's like, did he set out to go, I'm gonna make everybody think I'm a good guy, or was he just being his normal jovial self and they started doing it and he was like, okay, well, like, I am friendly and amenable or whatever, and like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I didn't know. Like, hold on, I didn't know about the AIDS thing.
Like,
what about like Keanu?
There are people who do set out to make everyone believe they're a good guy because either they hate themselves and they're really sad with who they are, or they know they're a shitty person and they have to. And it's just like, when you find that out about someone, I'm not saying everyone who's nice is like that. That's not my point. I'm saying when you find out someone did that, it's wild to me that people don't go, oh, yeah, we've seen that.
Dude, I could not agree with you more. I could not agree with you more on that. Because, again, like, the thing that Dave Grohl did, if Dave Grohl had have done that in the 90s, everybody would be like, well, yeah, of course, he's the lead singer of a band. And, like, only in this, like, you know, your bit, which is so illuminating and great about, like, the behind the music or whatever. Matter of fact, don't you even use the Foo Fighters as, like, an example in that?
No.
Well, either fucking way, like, we know too much about people now that it's like they can break our hearts more. But, like, what he did is, like, okay, you should never get a 19-year-old pregnant. But if you compare that to the stuff that even maybe the members of Steely Dan were doing in the 70s, it's like, hey, all right, buddy, whatever. That's not, you know, like, Steven Tyler and them talk about all these fucking, like, we don't know, man. There might have been a 15-year-old there. Who fucking knows?
It's
like,
also
it
like
wild.
Ellen had My Mima and everybody liked My Mima totally fooled. That is true. James Corden had a huge swath of mainstream America fooled, and he's this great, nice, fun-loving guy. But both of those, like, it's very easy. I mean, I've heard so many stories about both of them, both from like people in real life and people on podcasts and people on the internet or wherever. Like, if you're paying attention or look for it, you can find it. You hear about people being an asshole or being hard to deal with or whatever. And then there are certain people who you don't ever hear that stuff about. Like right. I said, like Keanu Reeves is one of them.
Tom
right?
Hanks.
Like,
right. Okay. Yeah. So that's a perfect example. If Keanu Reeves turned out to be a dickhead, I'm not saying I wouldn't be shocked. But I would be like, okay, another one of them fooled me. And getting back to the Predator thing, I was simply trying to say that, like, sinister people are very attracted to places they can hide in plain sight, and fame is one of them for this exact reason, because you can cultivate that image. So would it surprise me to find out Keanu Reeves was a bag of shit? Yes. Would it break my heart? No.
Right. Well, yeah, having your heart broke is weird.
Well, I think it's like, if you attach morality to someone you don't know,
Right.
that's
Right.
retarded.
Yes,
And I
I'm
just
with
upset
that.
some
I agree
people
with
who've
that.
attached it to me. I'm sorry
Yeah.
I said that word,
No.
but like it's dumb. It's
Dude.
so dumb because not just because you don't know them, but also because they're in an industry in which cultivating that is like, of course they want people to think they're good dudes.
Right.
Of course they do.
Like, dude,
That makes them money.
I loved Cosby when I was a kid. Like, we were a Cosby
Right.
Show household. Like, I had his
There you
albums.
go.
We fucking loved him. I bought into the America's Dad thing. When all that shit came out about Cosby, I didn't go, my fucking childhood is ruined. My sense of self is shattered. I mean, it sucked, but I was like upset for the ladies, not myself. You know what I mean? And like with Grohl, it's like, don't get me
Not the hypocrisy. It's all
Right.
the rape.
Don't get me wrong. Like when I heard the thing about Grohl, I was like, this was my reaction. I went, oh, dog. But then I stopped thinking about it forever, and I still have Foo Fighters on a playlist, and it don't even come up in my brain when they play. Like I don't give a. These are fucking. You don't, like you said, you don't know these people. They're celebrities who enjoy their shit and fucking listen to your dad.
Enjoy their shit. Yeah, I gotta go pick up my son, or I'm gonna.
Okay, plug your shit.
Plug my shit. I'll be in Asheville. Thank you everyone who came out to Raleigh. It was a dope show. We had a lot of fun. I'll be in Asheville for 2 shows, October 4th. I'll be in Chattanooga the Friday of like October 18th or 19th. I'll be in Atlanta the next night. What else I got? I got Bristol in November. I got St. Augustine, Florida. I feel like I left the city out, but you can go to drewmorgancomedy.com to get the dates.
All right. I'll be in Ohio, 4 cities in Ohio this here weekend with Travis Irvine again. And then next up, I got Bristol and Atlanta. And then I'll be in Missouri. And then all over the place after that. I know Philly's coming up soon and a bunch of places. So go to TraeCrowder.com and come and see me.
Hey, everybody. First off, thanks to everybody who came out in Center, Alabama. I was sort of making fun of the town, but the place I played was absolutely amazing. Thanks to everybody who came. Thanks for wearing your Corey Forster shirts. And I signed a couple books, Trae, and I left room for you to sign it when they came to see you. That's our book around here and over yonder, by the way. It's available wherever you get books. The audio version is the best. October 11th, I'm going to be at the Uptown Comedy Corner in Atlanta with my good close personal friend of the show, friend of all of us, Mr. George Wallace, doing Comics for Kamala. So come see me. You can get tickets at comicsforkamala.com. Also, sign up at welovecorey.com. That is my hero. And if you do that, this Thursday, I will be doing a live stream just for people who are subscribed to welovecorey.com. Other than that, thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Oh, also, I have another story coming out for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution this week. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew.
Fart.